All right, photo students, we're gonna do a project called I Think You Can Do It. It's all about shutter speed. And we're gonna do this as a formative project where you are just getting an experiment in on how the shutter speed can affect how a photo looks. A couple things that you're gonna need to make it happen is a sink, right? So some way of making some water come out of a faucet. And then also, it would be helpful to have some lights. You could even just use one light if you'd like. When we start moving really fast in our shutter speed, we're gonna need that extra light to really make that work. And a cup, or you could use something else that the water is going to be hitting. So that way we can really see the water kind of make its movement be seen. The other thing in your phone is going to be Lightroom. So Lightroom with the camera is going to be what we'll use to change the shutter speed on purpose. All right, so with that, we're going to get that sink turned on. You can just have like a moderate stream coming down out of the sink. And our next thing is going to be to understand how to change the shutter speed. So right now I'm on the Pro version of the camera. I'm going to want to make sure that it's on Pro, otherwise I won't see the option to change the shutter speed. So on an iPhone, you're going to see that set up like this. Here's the SEC, that stands for seconds of the shutter. And right now it's on auto. So we're going to take control of this and we're going to change the shutter speed. So the fastest we can go is 1/10,000. It doesn't look so great, right? It's kind of all pixelated. It's got a lot of digital noise. I think best kind of shutter speed to use just to freeze some of the water droplets, it's going to be right around 1/500. For your fast shutter speed, I'd like you to take a light and turn that on. So we've got a nice bright light that's going to be pointed right at where the water is hitting. And we're just going to take some pictures where we can freeze the movement of the water. So you decide the angle that you want to use, but I just want to take some pictures where I can see that water being frozen. So get a good focus right on your subject there, and you'll start to see those water droplets be frozen in the air, right? You can use wide angle or telephoto, you can decide. So this is the wide angle version. I might actually just go a little bit darker on my exposure. So I just hit the exposure button, click to get a focus, take the image, just so we can get a feel for how a fast shutter speed is going to affect how something looks. Experiment with this. Try getting some pictures of the water moving into a cup. See the bubbles. Right? You can change your angle. You'll notice how we can really freeze the movement of the water that way. That's why I had you grab that cup. Okay? So one photo where you've got a fast shutter speed. So 1/500, or you could even go faster if you're okay with a little bit of that digital noise showing up in your photo. There we go. So that one is at 1/2000. That's a pretty good view of frozen movement. Right, then we're going to do one photo where it's a slower shutter speed. So turn off that flashlight. We don't want to have anything bright going on in the image. Take that shutter speed and slow it on down. So you might even go like 1/60. That's that magic tripod number that we're going to learn about in class, where you need to stabilize the camera after that. So take a look at the difference in how the bubbles look with this kind of shutter speed. You know, they're a little bit more moved. Maybe I'll even go a little bit slower. The slowest you can go with the camera app is 1/4 of a second. Okay, this is you really got to stabilize the camera if you're going to go this slow. Get a good focus. I'm kind of focusing on the top rim of that glass, and I kept the camera from moving, so the bubbles are really blurred out in this version of the picture. Again, just two photos. One where you've got a really fast shutter speed, and you're showing kind of those bubbles frozen in time. And then a second picture where you're really showing the movement, blurring it out because of your slow shutter speed. Again, you can use a flashlight to help out with that faster shutter speed picture. Turn off the flashlight for your slow shutter speed picture.